Fake carrots. Fake fruit. Fake. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar! You liar!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. The liars, they're everywhere, folks. Local government, state government, federal government, international government. They're all freaking liars and idiots to boot. I hope everyone has had a D-Day and taken a few moments to think about what that was about. It was about men being poured out in an invasion to overwhelm the Germans and send the Nazis, well, to hell. But it was a beachhead, or several of them, and thousands of Americans died. The beaches were red with the blood of dead and dying men. It was incredible. And today, Joe Biden met in the beaches of Normandy with Emmanuel Macron, and it looked like Biden bent over and crapped his pants in front of the world. I can't think of anything more disrespectful than to send a doddering fool suffering from dementia over to represent our country, to honor the sacrifices made by the military men of the United States of America and England and other places. It's horrifying. But yeah, Joe Biden, what else could it be? Did he really think there was suddenly a chair behind him when he squatted down like a 2-year-old toddler to fill his Pampers? Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. And it's just going to get stupider and crazier. Ireland is about to erupt in Mad Max violence in many locations. They are going to probably be the very first country to break down into social partisan conflict over their illegal immigrant problem. It is a jam-packed news day, folks. Now, you can't make this stuff up. The World Health Organization, the United Nations, the National Institutes of Health, the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Fauci, media lying again, folks. Lying again. Get this, right? And I want to thank Peter Sweden for putting this up, because you can't make this crap up. It turns out that the man I reported, who was, I think, 58, in Mexico, supposedly died of the bird flu. Turns out the man that the World Health Organization claimed died from the bird flu was down in Mexico, but he's been confined to bed with type 2 diabetes and kidney failure. That's what killed the man. This is the same exact crap they pulled with cerveza bug, claiming that all these people were dying when in fact it was, well, what flu does every year. But they faked death upon faked death, and then they ran people to hospitals, put them on ventilators, and oh, good God, folks. Remember it. Remember it. And I think we need to have a D-Day revival. At some point, folks, we are going to have to charge up the beaches at these people and overwhelm them. It is coming. It's coming. I'm going to give you another. Okay, D-Day again is supposed to be about remembering the brave men who jumped out of landing craft onto beaches that were littered with mines, wire, obstructions, and guarded by concrete bunkered Germans with fully automatic liquid-cooled 30 caliber machine guns that fire somewhere around 3,000 rounds a minute. Well, rather than talk about that D-Day sacrifice, Hillary, the filthy trollop, Clinton, you know what she had to say about D-Day? That President Trump is like Adolf Hitler. Really? That is her perverted, sick D-Day social media post. It's funny how these left-wing dictatorial authoritarian types call Trump Hitler when that's exactly who they seem to emulate. Unbelievable, folks. Now, we are at war with social communists and social fascists, all socialists right now. Steve Bannon, who was an ally of Trump, worked for Trump, has a radio show, right? He has his war room. He's a big mouth. He's out there saying what he needs to say. Guess what? He's been ordered to go to prison July 1st. Interesting. Ordered to go to prison. You know why? Well, because President Trump had executive privilege. Well, before I get to that, let me tell you what Steve Bannon said to reporters with his attorney as he left the courthouse, right? He said, "There is not a prison built or a jail built that will ever shut me up." Good. That is the attitude to have. I am not quitting. I am not shutting up. I'm not going away. I'm not going to bend the knee. I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to kowtow. I'm not going to be silent. That's the attitude there needs to be. Bannon, folks, is going to get a prison vacation for exercising the long time commonly practiced procedure and policy regarding executive privilege. Now get this, right? Here's the quote. "We've had constitutional executive privilege for 250 years going back to George Washington." Now, that was said by Mike Davis, right? Former Gorsuch clerk, okay, Supreme Court Justice clerk. And he, unbelievable. Now, the reason that we have this privilege is so presidents, this is a quote, so presidents can get candid advice from their presidential advisors, both inside and outside of government, without fear they will get hauled before Congress and especially not get thrown in prison. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, Bannon told Congress, I'm not telling you. That's executive privilege. The president confided in me, right? It's kind of like attorney-client privilege, which, of course, is toast now as well. Now, if Bannon can go to prison for that, this is what I say. Every FBI, CIA, IRS agent, and every Democrat as well that refused to comply with Republican congressional subpoenas needs to be arrested, prosecuted, and sent immediately to jail. You got it? I mean, that's the exact same thing. How many times did Ruby Rod Rosenstein say no and McCabe say no? How many times? How many times did that POS, right? Peter Strzok, the evil elf. How many times has Hillary Clinton said, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I can't recall, I don't know, I can't recall. No trouble. How many times has the FBI had documents subpoenaed and they said, we don't have them. We don't have the Hunter Biden laptop. We don't have this. We don't have that. Sorry. Nope, nope. And then when they do send something, the whole page is blacked out. Crazy, folks. Crazy. The world we're in right now is crazy. And the media continues to push their message, but people aren't listening to the media anymore. What they're doing, though, is the media, mainstream media, is confirming and continuing to confirm to you and me that they are not on our side. and that they are willing to lie and then lie and then lie some more. On MSNBC, Ding Dong Chris Matthews, he's been around a long time. He's always been a liar. He says it's very reasonable that Trump will become a dictator. Why is that very reasonable to assume that? And I guess all the lawsuits against Trump are reasonable too, right, Matthews? What an idiot. But they're not going to stop. They're not going to quit. They're not going to go away. They want to say whatever they want, the radical left. Are you prepared, folks, for where this is going? They're putting Trump's allies in jail. They want to put Trump in jail. And the world, folks, world leaders are going, this is incredible what they're doing to Trump. Even places where they don't have freedom of speech, even places that have questionable law and ethics, even banana republics are going, you've got to be kidding me. You're doing that now? And to prove how easy people are to buy, I'm going to tell you something here, and you're going to, everyone knows who Sean Hannity is. He came from humble beginnings, right? His show coming after Rush Limbaugh. Intelligent guy, very intelligent. Somehow, I think after 9/11, he sold out. He did, because he refused to address the topics. Sean Hannity is now attempting to persuade President Trump, folks, who has faced 94 fake indictments. Sean Hannity is trying to tell Trump to go easy on Biden's Department of Justice when he returns to the White House. Go easy on the Gestapo. Go easy on the KGB. Take it easy on the murderers and the liars. Why? Why should Trump? Why? They are traitors, folks. Period. They're traitors. And what they need to fix that is a short drop and a quick stop with a rope. And Sean Hannity wants Trump to go easy. Why? They impeached him once for a sham and a lie, a hoax, Russia collusion. They impeached him again after he wasn't the president. They created a fake storm in a teacup called January 6th, labeled an insurrection. Nobody, folks, nobody was charged with insurrection because there wasn't one. Yet they're trying to use that as the justification for keeping him off the ballot. And they're using the 13th Amendment, which says insurrectionists can't hold office. When since the Civil War, when that amendment came about, nobody has been tried under that. That hasn't been applied to anybody. It's an archaic instrument that was used at that time. But that's all they had, folks. That's all they've got. But the left is perverted, folks. Absolutely perverted. Get your questions down below, please. It's incredible what is going on. I mean, where do we start? We've got terrorism coming from pro-Hamas terrorists, right? We've got that. We've got all these Democrats scared to death Trump is going to lock them up, so they try to lock up Trump. We've got a media that can't tell the truth to save their own lives. It's absolutely incredible. And, of course, it's time to go to war with Russia. It's time to go to war with Russia. Putin, folks, has made some comments with respect to the fact that Ukraine has now used United States weapons with American President Biden's permission to fire those missiles into Russia. So guess who's going to retaliate? This is Putin's comments. If someone thinks it is possible to supply such weapons to a war zone to attack our territory and create problems for us, Why don't we have the right to supply weapons of the same class to regions of the world where there will be strikes on sensitive facilities of those countries? That is, the response can be asymmetric. We will think about it. Right now, the Pentagon and DC and Brussels and the European Union are crapping their pants. And I'm sure the NATO command are both crapping and urinating in their pants. Because now Putin can do an asymmetric response. In other words, go, oh, that's what you want to do? Fine, we'll give missiles, approximately the same class, same style. We'll give them to people to make your life living hell. So could he give those to the Houthis in Yemen and start launching them at American warships or doing whatever the hell they want with them? How about giving them to Iran? Or maybe giving them to what? People in Syria, Libya, Egypt? Who could they give them to? Anyone. Folks, I still think there's going to be a retaliation that is going to blow people's minds. Scary business, folks. There's a lot of old timers that make me feel young. But these fossils are afraid of Russia because they know what Russia really can do. They know. Just unbelievable where we're going. Now, this was incredible to me. Right? We know about the Palestinian ding-dongs, right? The pro-Palestinian Hamas lovers. They want war in this country. In fact, they're now being sued for being terrorist propagandist tools. They're, quote, fomenting hatred. And it's pretty obvious to see that with their from the river to the sea bullshit and everything else they spout off. You know, death to Jews, death to Israel, death, 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 death to America. Well, the anti-Israel, anti-American groups are now being sued, right? And the litigants in this lawsuit explained, quote, they are acting and serving in collaboration and coordination with Hamas, essentially as propagandists and collaborators on campus to try and promote the Hamas extremist ideology. That's a fair statement. Nobody in schools was screaming genocide until this crap started. Nobody in schools even really knew where Palestine was, if they know at all now. Nobody gave a shit until Hamas decided they were going to kill over 1,000 Israelis. And then they brought their bullshit over here when the response came. Well, let's continue with the lawsuit and the terminology and what's going on there. Hamas issued a call to action. And the very next day, surprise, 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 Students for Justice in Palestine, aka SJP. SJP and their affiliates throughout the United States, they answered that call. The very next day, they answered that directive. They created a toolkit, a manifesto for chapters across the United States, echoing the language, the terminology, the instructions by the Hamas terror group. And they propagated that across campuses. So the SJP and their allies, Antifites, BLMites, right? They need to be categorized, labeled as a terrorist organization, domestic terrorist organization, because they've done everything they've been asked. And remember this, recall this, right? The Ayatollah Khomeini type guy in Iran did the same thing. He encouraged them. He promoted it. He pushed for it. Folks, it's hit the fan. It truly has hit the fan. And it's not going to end anytime soon. All right. Well, shit. There's no way around it. I can't leave this one alone. Let's play it. Let's play everybody's favorite game. Let's take a wild guess. Everyone knows who the Kansas City Chiefs are. No, and I'm not talking about that Kelsey fruitcake. Just world Super Bowl champions, right? Well, the Chiefs canceled their activities today because one of their players had an issue. That's right, folks. B.J. Thompson suffered a seizure and cardiac arrest. That's right. Take a wild guess as to why another super athlete had a fucking heart attack. Give me a break. How many coincidences is enough? How many tennis players? How many bicyclists? How many basketball players? How many baseball players? How many football players? How many runners? How many super athletes have to either retire or just check into a morgue because their heart stopped? They're full of clots. They had a stroke. They have neurological problems. And these are the super athletes. Imagine how detrimental this crap is to people. Maybe the Japanese are right saying millions of us are dying because of the Jim Jones juice. So does the Kansas City Chiefs think that if they take the day off, everyone will be fine again? Folks, B.J. Thompson, super athlete for the Chiefs, suffers a seizure during a special teams meeting, then went into cardiac arrest. Right? Crazy. The incident occurred suddenly. Luckily, the Chiefs had medical staff close. And he hasn't passed away. I tell you, folks, I've seen it. I've seen what it does to people. I had a friend die from that, like freaking instantly. Instantly, folks. You want another? But wait, there's more. Army Command Sergeant Major dies. South Korea. Only 44 years of age. Wanted to go to his daughter's graduation, but died unexpectedly, suddenly. Bam. I'm not going to let this go because they're going to push it again. They're going to push it again. They're trying with this bird flu. Finally, someone died, and they're like, that was bird flu. No, it was an old man with awful diabetes and kidney failure. But they have no problem lying about it. Oh, it's both safe and effective, except it won't stop you from contracting anything, and it won't stop you from spreading it. But it's safe and effective. Have you heard a bigger piece of shit? Your chances of contracting cerveza bug go up. It actually gets higher the more times you take the vaccine. How can that be a vaccine? How can that help you? You can get you can get cerveza bug, take the vaccine, and then get the cerveza bug again and again and again. What's the point of taking it? If the symptoms get worse, if you can get it more easily, if you can continue to spread it, hey, left wingers, go on, go get some more. Hey, if one is good, 10 is better. It's unbelievable. It's scary as hell. I really hope many of the people who took that trash, I hope they were given a placebo. I hope all the people that took it got water, right? Just a saline solution. Cancer rates up. The shit I saw today, it was cancer rates are up, fertility's up. Name your disease. They're all up. Heart attacks everything's up dramatically, including deaths. Crazy, folks. Crazy. And then there's this. I just can't leave this alone. This fucking guy. We talk about the FBI quite a bit. Right. Former FBI chief, not James Comey, but Andrew McCabe. Former disgraced POS FBI chief Andrew McCabe decided he was going to shoot his lips off. And he said that some FBI agents are going to flee the country if Trump wins. FBI agents will flee the country if Trump wins. Does that sound normal to you? They fear they're going to be, quote, thrown in jail. Why would FBI agents fear being thrown in jail? Why should they be afraid, folks? Why? Just let the justice system prove how innocent they are, right? Just allow yourself to be arrested, FBI agents. Because if you're innocent, the justice system will clear you. Aren't we told that all the time? Aren't we? There's no sense resisting arrest because the justice system will prevail. If you're innocent, then you can prove it in court. It'll just cost you the rest of your life, your entire savings in retirement. You'll lose your reputation, lose your house, lose your car, but you can prove your innocence, right? The same way Trump did with the jury trial that wants you locked up, and they don't care about facts. What else do they say? Right? If you guys are innocent, why hide, right? Why are you going to go to another country if you're innocent? You must be guilty of something, huh? Right? I guess these FBI agents are afraid they can beat the rap, but they can't beat the ride. They're the tough guys, right? The FBI. And they're afraid of Trump. Why? You can take a wild guess on that one, folks. The FBI is an organization that needs to be, if not cleared out, and just needs to be destroyed. It needs to be destroyed. Not just clearing out the 6th floor or whatever floor is the one that has the assholes on it. Some agents will flee the country. Some. Who are the some? Now, isn't the role of the FBI domestic law enforcement at the federal level? Well, who goes after international criminals? Right? Once you cross the state line, it becomes a federal crime. Right? Well, if you flee the country, that's an international crime, is it not? You're now an international fugitive. You know, I hope Hollywood leaves the country. Well, get this. Let me remind you. The Nazis fled Germany after World War II, after the Allies rolled into Berlin. And then we had for decades, we had people hunting them down and bringing them back to justice. People like McCabe, people like James Comey. Oh, Bill Barr, folks, he is sucking up to Trump now. He's like, oh yeah, he's gonna appeal this and win this. A big chunk of junk. That guy. The whole day has just been disgusting with law enforcement, supposed law enforcement, supposed government. You know, what they did on D-Day. Get this, folks. Now, this is kind of an update on the Bend, Oregon Police Department. Because there was an incident that occurred in Bend where a grown man exposed himself to a 2-year-old boy, exposed his genitals. Well, people got pissed off because the police officer's like, well, that's not a crime. That's not a crime. Not in Oregon. So the government there is urging concerned citizens to contact the Oregon legislature to change that law. Really, I guess they have a law in Oregon that says it's okay for men to expose their penises to children. I don't think you're telling me there's not a local, state, or federal law that says you're not allowed to do that. I watched a video today while taking a break. Of nude bicyclists in England trying to do one of their little bicycling runs where they bicycle through parts of town. Well, the people have had enough of these fucking fruitcakes, people. They were throwing beer bottles at them, kicked them off their bikes, beating the shit out of them for being a bunch of freaks. I am not going to encourage violence or glamorize it. I'm just going to say this type of shit is what is going to happen. There's going to come a point where people like Hillary Clinton are going to get more than just jeered at and cussed at. And AOC is going to get more than just ignored. It's coming. It is absolutely coming. So let's do this. Let's have some fun. I think tomorrow is going to be the Friday free-for-all where we wrap up the week and talk about what is coming next. What is coming next? And it's coming. It is coming. The Supreme Court, as far as I know, still has not said they're going to take up Trump's appeal on the absolute bullshit sham application of a series of so-called infractions of law. I don't know how they can't, because we're looking at federal election interference, misapplication of law, malfeasance of office, violation of constitutional rights, violations of procedure, violations of precedent. Just the list goes on and on. Let's do this. Let's head to the inner circle. What a day. What a week. Man, I tell you, I almost blew my lid this morning. We all do our jobs, folks. We all do our jobs, and then people just piss us off good. Okay, let's do this. Mr. Ooman says we got lots of great questions. Let's get to it. Hey. Stepping right up, it's Village Idiot. With one of the best whatever that is. He says, FBI agents fleeing the country sounds like a good start. Well, it would be a good start if they had a Democrat under one arm and a lawyer under the other. That would be a good start. But yes, definitely true. Everybody, well, I shouldn't say that. Everybody, that's a superlative. People I know, I can't say every again. A lot of people I know, including family members, say the FBI is full of a bunch of wimps who probably like rainbow flags and playing darts with their butts. There's not a lot of respect there. In fact, there's no respect. In fact, there's a lot of disrespect for the FBI and the ATF. And I think those organizations as bureaucracies are anathema. They're essentially now tools of oppression and evil. And I don't think that's an overstatement. Thank you, Village Idiot, very, very much. Mr. Uman, he wants to step up next. And he says, I know what you're talking about. Remember how many idiots said they would leave the country the first time if Trump won? Yeah, still waiting for the first ones to leave. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp said he was going to leave. I believe Madonna. I think she said she was going to leave. Was it Howard Stern going to leave, or was that on 2020 election? But yeah, numerous singers, actors. I'm sure Taylor Swift can just get in her plane and stay airborne, polluting the world with carbon, with all the flying she needs to do, and not touch back down in America. Yeah, I really wish they would do as they claim. They can all leave the country, and you know what? They should. In fact, I caught a news story that the worry is that all the illegals here in the United States of America, if Trump is elected, will flee from Trump into Canada. I feel bad for Canada now. You know, fucking Canadians are going to get 15 million illegals. What makes these guys... See, this is how ridiculous they are. They keep going north. Do they think they're going to meet Santa Claus at the North Pole and he'll give them refuge? I don't think so. There's a reason that old man hides under his snow. Stay away from this crap. Anyways, thank you, Uman. Yeah, I hope they do. I want them to leave. I want Robert De Niro. What a douche. It's hard to watch. Even look at the guy wearing those shoes with 3-inch lifts. Asinine, stupid-looking guy. Right? There's an old saying. It's better to remain silent and let people wonder than to open your mouth and show the whole world that you really are an idiot. And he did that. And he lost, I think, a $10 million acting job. Got fired off of a Kevin Costner set. Yeah, good. Keep talking, you bunch of idiots. Get the hell out of the country. Go live in Ireland. Go live in, right, any of these cities that have been polluted with, foreigners from barbaric countries. I've seen enough films now of France and Italy and Spain, Germany, the Netherlands, England, where locals walk around and speaking English, they say, look what has happened to our country. Does this look like my country? And they name the country, they name the city. And it's a bunch of people from third world countries selling drugs, prostitution, drunk in the streets. And I've seen before and after photos of the same building, right? Beautiful European village with beautiful native buildings, clean, streets are clean, people walking around. Now they're all trashed, covered in a bunch of crap, flags from other countries. Just, it's incredible, folks. That's what they want for your country. Look at what they're doing in California. Go look up what they're doing in the Bay Area, Los Angeles, all the homeless, destroying everything. It's beautiful. Yeah, thanks, Democrats. And where do they think they're going to go when all this is said and done? Maybe they think all these people are just going to die and that they get to inherit it all. We do live in interesting times. Uman said the most popular name in London last year was Muhammad. Is that for newborn babies? The most popular name? Yes, newborn babies, the most popular name. It's not John. Used to be a popular name. Not Oliver. Nope. Not that. Let's see. Not David. No, not Michael. No, Muhammad. Londonistan is its name now. Londonistan. They're proving that they are not liars, folks. They're proving that they do want to take over the country. And like New York and Baltimore, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Chicago, and other cities, those with money are going to flee and leave and find refuge elsewhere. That is exactly what's going to happen in Europe. The rich people, they're going to go somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but look out. Okay, Mr. Uman, where shall we go next? Who wants to step on up? We got some time left in the show, and it's chin music. He says, you mean they, the FBI, You mean they fear getting the Fed boy treatment they dish out? Yeah, they fear. And he says, remember what Schmuck Schmoomer said. Schmuck Schmoomer. Schmuck Schumer. I can't remember what Shuck Schmoomer said. What the fuck did Chuck say?
Chuck said, if you go against the FBI or the people in power, we got 1,000 ways to Sunday to get back at you.
Yeah. And see, that's just it. They can make up anything they want. They can lie their asses off. They can plant information on your computer. They can freeze your bank account. They can get you fired. They can harass your family. I mean, 1,000 ways they can screw with you. Thank you, Chuck Schumer. Yeah. So these FBI agents, some of them, try every one of them. They know what they all know what they're doing, right? It's this whole, well, you know, it's just a couple of bad apples in the police force. No, they all know what's going on. But literally, and I get it, I understand. How can you stop them? Right? If the police chief is crooked, if the captains and lieutenants, some of them are crooked, they get their people underneath them. How do you get rid of them? How do you fucking arrest them is how. If you know they're dirty and bad cops, you arrest them. You arrest them. You take your evidence to the district attorney and you arrest them. Then you put them in jail. And then you prosecute them. And yeah, it's gonna be hard, but who else is going to clean it up? I can't go arrest the bad guys. You can't go arrest the bad guys. But apparently they're afraid of Trump. Apparently they're afraid of Trump arresting them. Oh, it's gonna get stupid, folks. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Chin Music. Right? They fear law and order. They fear justice. And I don't think of it as retribution. It's just when you get punched in the nose by somebody and you're like, hey, right? You know who punched you. You know who the bad guys are now, right? And people that let them get away with it, you're like, hey, punch me in the nose, arrest them. And they're like, no, we're not going to arrest them. Okay, you're a bad guy too. That's what the federal government is. It's full of bad guys. FBI, CIA, ATF, IRS, United States Postal Service. Oh, if everyone just knew exactly what's going on. It's deep, right? The river of shit in DC is both wide and deep. Just name one bureaucracy that's on the level. The EPA. Oh, the CDC. Wait, yeah, we're pretty familiar with that now. Name one. The NSA. What have they done that we can point to? Oh, Department of Homeland Security. Oh, yeah, the border. Name a federal bureaucracy. They could have 3 or 4 left. FEMA. What has FEMA ever done besides get in the way? Name a good bureaucracy that helps the American people. I can't do it. I can't think of one federal bureaucracy that I can go, you know, I'm glad they're there and they're doing what they do. Can you? But look at what all of them are doing that are bad, that are in our faces. The IRS, enough said. CIA, hey, thanks for the wars, dickheads. FBI, way to attack the president, way to attack January 6 protesters. In fact, they're still arresting protesters. Arrested a lieutenant colonel from the Air Force. They're still arresting people, folks. Why? Why? For what? Just for being in Washington, D.C. now. Unbelievable. Ooman, where shall we go next? We just hit the 45-minute mark today. We've got, drum roll please, Heidi. And she says, I heard the Somalis in Minnesota stole $250 million from the COVID relief fund and sent it to Somalia. That does not sound good, Heidi. That doesn't sound good. But what we are hearing about in the mainstream media and alternative media and Twitter, X, and social media, yeah, tons of businesses, non-government organizations, NGOs, and even individual politicians have lied, cheated, and stolen all of that money that was put out there for COVID relief, right? I got COVID relief. I got a check. I think a lot of people got a check way back then. This is before I even left for the RMZ. And then at the end of the year after taxes, they said, now you have to pay it back. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? First you put everyone out of work and then you tell them to give the money back that you gave them after you. Yeah. But then this type of shit, 250 million. I don't know about that story. I haven't heard it confirmed by 3 sources, but we'll take your word for it, Heidi, just for the purpose of discussion. How many times do we have to hear about shit like this? With the mayor of St. Louis, the district attorneys in different towns, people are getting arrested, thankfully, for folks, the fraud and election cheating from 2020. It's outrageous. It's like thousands of votes. Some idiot, posted on Twitter X or TikTok. Yeah, every Trump vote I saw, I shredded. It's like, why isn't he arrested? Why isn't he being drugged through the streets by his ankle? Across parking stops. Thump, 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 thump. Right? You want to talk about keeping people from breaking the law? Give them real punishments. Give them real punishments. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to encourage cruel and unusual punishments, but what do you think it is when you arrest somebody, hold them in the cell in Washington, D.C., with their toilet backing up, feeding them food that's infested with bugs and covered in mold? That's not cruel and unusual? I don't think I'm going to let them arrest me. I don't think I'll allow myself to be arrested anytime soon, because I just don't think it's such a good idea to be arrested these days. If the FBI is willing to flee the country, if Trump is in office, how should you and I feel about Biden being in the office with the FBI that we have now? Sheesh. It's kind of hard to not make that case. Mr. Uman, what do we have next here? Who wants to step up? And it's Diving Frog, and he's back. He says, John, I saw a piece where the Supreme Court of the United States overturned Trump's conviction and imprisonment via the Colorado president. Have you heard anything? No, I haven't. Via the Colorado president.
I think he meant precedent.
What? Where'd you go? That guy, he's like a genie. He just shows up. Like the Colorado precedent. Don't know anything about that. Haven't heard it. Let's see. I like you guys. I got up super early, did a bunch of paperwork, finally got out, worked my ass off all day, just like you guys. Made sure to give half of my money to the government for taxes. And then I got back to the bunker, did some quick reading, caught up on some stuff, and here I am. I missed this. We're going to find out, folks. It'll be big news. Imagine all the Democrat heads that explode. They need to have the case again thrown out. I don't want a pardon for Trump. They need to throw it out so that he's not a convicted felon. So that they can't use any of this as an excuse to say, you can't be on the ballot, you can't be the president. But there are people, get this. There are people out there, experts in law, experts in national and geopolitical politics. Geopolitical politics. I mean, poly comes from the Greek word meaning many, and ticks are blood-sucking parasites. So people in politics, there are many blood-sucking parasites. I think that explains everything right there. So you got to know your etymology, the meaning of words. The parasites in DC, all the Democrats, they're going to lose their minds when this gets thrown out, and it should be thrown out. In fact, I think that the judge should be held accountable. If you can be held accountable, and I can be held accountable, and Uman down there, he can be held. We can all be held accountable for anything we've done. I don't know why a judge can't be held accountable when they violate someone's constitutional rights. When a jury knowingly and willfully violates, they should be arrested, the jurors. You can't sit on a jury and make up the law. I mean, you can nullify the government's laws, but you can't make up your own law and say, well, now that I'm in this jury, I'm going to make it a crime to be orange. Can't do that. Can't do that. Imagine all the goldfish that wouldn't like that, right?
Fear the crab cat. Fear the crab cat.
Fear the crab cat. All right. I tell you what, it's just funny. Thank you, Uman. I love the heckle fish. Of course, I've got Peppa Pig over there. I hate that pig. It just stares at me. I'm here at the desk. All right, Mr. Uman, where do we go from here? Where do we go? And it's Orlando. Hey, brother, he's got a question. He says, when are we finally going to get rid of this walking colostomy bag in office so we can get started on fixing this country? I'm so sick of this shit already. I tell you, man. Telling you, it's hard to say, Orlando. I mean, yeah, we got an election coming up in November. I believe November 5th is election day this year. We're going to elect a president. There's going to be an election. You and I. Now, Orlando, I'm serious. When are we finally going to get rid of this walking shitbag? We all have a role to play at the polling place. We all need to volunteer. We need to be down there. We need to make sure illegals are not voting. Because that sounds like a crime to me. It sounds like foreign election interference. That's what it sounds like to me. What do you guys think? If someone from another country who's not a citizen, who isn't paying money, who isn't an American, why are they allowed to vote? They're not allowed to vote, folks. I mean, I remember every time I vote in California, in Florida, I'm going to get to vote. And I found out, guess what? You got to have an ID. You've got to be registered to vote. You've got to be an American. Every time I have ever voted, folks, I've had to pull out an identification card and they check it off the list. I get one vote. Just crazy stuff. Anyways, that's when we're going to do it, Orlando. That's when, brother. We need to be watching them count the votes and not allowing truckloads of ballots to be delivered. Backing it up. Beep, beep, beep. It's 1 a.m. Back it on up. We got to put in some more Biden ballots. We need to make this thing too big to rig. I love that saying. I know it's fundamentally childish, but people seem to remember, nursery rhymes. Once upon a time, there was a pig, and he voted in an election that was too big to rig. And Dr. Seuss, right, is spinning in his grave every time I make a rhyme. Thank you, man. Thank you all, Orlando. We've got to get in and get active. No longer can we trust other people to do the job for us. And that's what we did, is we trusted these people to run the votes, right? It's not just who votes, it's who counts the votes. There's a whoops I never thought of 20 years ago. I thought, well, we all voted, and the dead voted a lot, and the dogs and cats voted a lot, and some people voted a few times, but at least they're being counted. Well, they're being counted multiple times. Man, what do we got next? We've got 5 minutes left in the show. We've got Diving Frog. He says, why is Israel trying to push Noahide laws on America? That's death to Christians. What are Noahide laws? Did I miss that day in school? I have no idea, Mr. Diving Frog. I do not want any laws on America. Noahide. Don't know. I just don't know. Everybody wants their laws to matter, though. Like the wacko jihadis, they want Sharia law. The Democrats, they want to make up whatever law they can. They want to use international law, which is un-American. They want to ignore the common law. They want the full application of fascist law. Oh, you bet, folks. Oh, the trick that they pulled after the Civil War. That was an awful trick, folks. When they said, oh, no, the statutory law, we're going to, and this is essentially what they said. We're going to incorporate the common law system into the codified books. Yeah. The codified laws we have are based on common law. So we're not really changing your law. All right. Well, let's do this. Enough law talk for today. Let's do another one. We've got what do we got, Mr. Uman? He says we've got a good one. He says it's good. It's good. Here we go. Give it to me, man. Come on there. What do we got? I've got some more stuff I want to cover. Get this. Hey, look. In Stanford, these people from other countries, or people that think they're from other countries, or people that support people from other countries, at Stanford, they broke into the president of Stanford's office, these pro-Palestinian activists. And then they locked themselves in. Well, the police had to break in, and now all of the protesters have been expelled. I think it's hilarious. The people that run the colleges think everything is fine until, well, someone pees in their pool. Right? Nancy Pelosi loved the fact that radical BLMers and Antifa, they loved the fact that they were burning American cities. Oh, but you know, they broke into Congress and got into her office. They don't like it when they get violated. You know, just last week, folks, the terrorists, these pro-Palestinian terrorists, were so cute and fuzzy, right? Oh, we have to give them their free speech. Now they're an issue, folks. Anyways, I think not only should all Middle Eastern radicals, anti-American radicals from around the world, they should not only be expelled from school, they should be expelled from the nation. Okay. Well, here we are. Mr. Uman, we're down to less than 2 minutes. The clock is... There it is. Chin Music has a very important question. He says, do the Rainbow Lads have a different name for the game Cornhole? Asking for myself. Not going to ask for a friend. I mean, cornhole means butthole. And it's cornhole for the last 30 years of my life at least. That's what that is. So playing a game of cornhole, if you're a rainbow lad, that's a nice way to put it. Yeah, I can't say, hey, let's go play a game of cornholing with a straight face. I can't do it. Can't do it. It's just not possible. What do they call it? Throwing beanbags through a board. I mean, that's almost as bad as going to a gay bar and looking at some guy and saying, hey, can I push your stool in? You know, it's the jokes could be endless, but, you know, they're tasteless and not allowed anymore. All right. I'll tell you what, I'm going to hang up the phone with you guys and we're going to check out. I'll be back tomorrow morning and then we'll do, that's right, the Free for All Friday, wrap the week up, and also Sunday Night Live. Folks, get some rest. It's going to continue, and it's going to continue to be bad. Chance favors the prepared mind. Are you prepared? Godspeed, Semper Fi.